boom. There's the colors too. There's one thing that we need to remember as well, because what we're doing today is we're getting into the fifth circuit. The fifth law and it's the law of it's not the fifth one necessarily, but when you go in reverse, it's the third one, but then it goes with the fifth circuit because it's 1, 2, 3, and then 7, 6, 5, right? So it's vibration, all right, and that makes sense because law of vibration goes along with this here, the throat chakra, right? Let's go. Okay. Again, it's a lot of information up in here. It's stuff. See, once I get started with these things, it ends up being too much, and sometimes I gotta leave some stuff out, and but it is what it is, right? Take some notes. I sent a message out to your parents about the screenshot stuff. Like y'all were like, I screenshot it, but you're supposed to take the screenshot and copy it into your notebook, right? Don't just screenshot it and have it just sitting there on your phone. Once you copy it in your notebook, you'll have some better muscle memory, right? And you'll process it more when you sit there and actually write it down.
Yeah,
All
Mr.
right.
Strong.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm happy I copied down what I have, what I had on my phone kind of thing, because I think it was like 2 weeks ago, my whole phone got
Mhm.
deleted.
Oh, so you did that. You copied it into your notebook.
Yeah.
Well, excellent. Very good, sir. All right. Same thing. And repetition has its place as well, which is one of the reasons I read this every time, right? Ask questions, analyze, interpret data, use logical, mathematical, computational thinking, obtain and evaluate information, debate, and form explanations based on evidence. Habits of mind, curiosity, skepticism, openness to new ideas, creativity, intellectual honesty, and ethical responsibility. Anyway, so then hallucinogens. Now we're in the first circuit, fifth circuit. My bad. That would be hallucinogens like LSD, PCP, acid, peyote. It's like the cactus that they take, out there when they do their rituals, the shamans, and then next thing you know, they tripping and they going in different altered states of consciousness and all of this. And that would make sense that this would be fifth circuit intuition, right? And I would not suggest that any of you do that. I ain't never done no hallucinogenic, okay, and I don't plan on ever doing it either, right? So I'm not here promoting that anything like that. I know people that done certain things, but and I'm not even going to describe that either because I don't want to give you any ideas. But um, they're also depending on where you are, and this is why one of the reasons it's so important to even discuss consciousness, because some people do that and they'll have a trip, they'll have a bad trip, and then they'll be happening for the rest of their life at random. 20 years later, they'll start tripping, okay? Because they done unlock something in their brain that they have not um, dealt with before they did that, right? Go ahead, Aru.
So can marijuana make you hallucinate?
Sure, it can take you to that point, right? But why is that though? Because and that's very similar to the way those hallucinogens can do that, right? It's because when a person, whatever a person does, right, the way that they think about it is going to determine the quality and the effect of that experience, right? So if a person goes and they smoking weed or whatever, right, and next thing you know they is something going on in the past or the present or whatever that they're not dealing with or thinking with or perceiving in a healthy way, that has the potential to just amplify that experience. And because it hasn't been resolved inside of you, then what's going to be amplified? The negativity of it, right? The negativity of that experience. Yes? Yes? Yes?
Uh,
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Okay, am I
sorry. I
talking to
was doing
myself?
something.
Okay. All right. So one second, let me just add this. And this is one of the reasons why, understanding where we are thinking from moment to moment, and which is what we've been doing these last 4 weeks into the fifth week. I know, and I get it. I understand. Sometimes y'all sitting there like, oh God, here we go. All this talking about this Lord, it's too much words and too much this and that. But listen, everything you do at every moment, moment to moment to moment, okay? All of these different 7 aspects of the way you process your thoughts is going to affect what you get out of that moment, whether you conscious of it or not. All right. So if you decide to yourself like, that's whatever, the effect is going to be the same. You still going to feel the effects, but the worst part is that you may not even know why. So you could just be walking around just miserable and not even know why you're miserable and don't even care. Right. And that's the worst to me. I'd rather know why, because then I could transmute that and try to do something else. Right. Let's get to the next part. And what would you, somebody wanted to say something? Was that a Hadu or who was that?
It was me. I wanted to ask, what does ayahuasca, what circuit does that affect?
Same thing. That's also a hallucinogenic. That's the same thing. Not the same substance, but same
What's
type of
ayahuasca?
substance.
Ayahuasca is a
Go ahead.
go into different.
I didn't hear you. Sorry. Say it again.
I said ayahuasca plant. I think from Peru.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Peru,
Like
Heru,
that
right?
tea?
Yeah, they drink it.
Is
It's fermented.
When she got to Peru.
Yeah. Now, if she can do that and she doesn't have any fear lodged anywhere, during that experience, she get something out of that. But that's the thing. This is why we were saying too, a lot of times people get into different practices where they do different breathing things or different tones and chants and different yoga positions where they contort their body and this and that, because they're trying to open up different glands and get different chemicals flowing in a particular way. That when people go into that a lot of times and they're not doing it aware of why they're doing it, where they are when they're doing it, meaning mentally, that's the most important, and what they're trying to get out of it, that stuff can be it can stall your progress more than launch it forward. So fundamentally the best thing is to just try to be a good person. That's the number one thing. Is to just try to be a good person, right? And then the more you can do that over time, and that's for you to define. That's not for me to tell you what that is, right? That's for every one of us to define what that is, right? So you got to say to yourself, all right, this is who I am. I'm going to be true to this, right? In the best way that I can, because your nature is greatness and righteousness in the first place. So if you just be true to that, right? Not what somebody said is appropriate at this, what is proper for you is what it is, right? All right. And that also will do what? Naturally increase your intuition, because once you behave consistently in a certain way, then your the reaction that you get from the world, first circuit, is going to inform everything else: group dynamic, intellect, the emotion, whether you're in heaven or in hell, and then your intuition naturally. All right. These are a bunch of photos from oh my God, what's this dude's name?
Dr. Emoto.
Emoto, yeah, thank you. You're right. He's a Japanese scientist, and what he did was he took water and in the book, he had a book. I've got it somewhere, whatever. But he has a book where he was talking about the experiments where a lot of times he would take children and they would speak certain words to the water. And what he'd end up doing is he would freeze it later and then uh, examine the crystals under a electron microscope, right? And then check the crystal formations based on different words, right? But it wasn't only children he was using, but he chose children because children are not as jaded. You know what I'm saying? They're more innocent, right? This is after a Buddhist prayer, right? This is before. This the water was whack. And then after the prayer, he froze it, and this is what you got. Look at the fractals in this crystal, right? I mean, it speaks for itself. This is after playing music by Johann Sebastian Bach and Wolfgang Mozart, the prodigy. I think he was 14 or something like that when he was writing his first symphony, if I'm not mistaken. Both of them was black too. This is, they just played the music and then froze the crystals. I mean, pardon me, froze the water and then examined the crystals, right? Let's see. Now this one, these, they didn't do any particular chants or add any vibration. This is just taken from a pristine natural state, a preserve, right? And this is from New Zealand and Mount Cook, and this was from Dian Shan Lake in China, right? So they just took a sample, right?
How did they get a flame? How did they get a flame symbol in the New Zealand one?
It's making a flame symbol.
And yeah, the first one kind of looked like a logo.
I mean, I think
Looked
it's
like
awesome.
a wolf howling to me, but
I think it's awesome because I can see all them things that you just said.
Kind of look like Pac-Man.
Didn't we do a slide for this?
I'm sorry. Actually,
No, go ahead, keep going. I'll keep talking about it.
yeah, it kind of looks like if a werewolf was like howling. Like, let's say there was a sign for a werewolf howling. That's what it looks like to me.
Not really, because it says 3. And
It
All
just looks like fire.
Yeah,
Well,
I can see
well, one thing, if
Yeah,
I
let's
could
look
add, is
harder.
that it's not fractal,
I said it first.
right? But is it a repeating pattern? Does it look like it's a repeating pattern?
No, it's a shark jumping out the water about to bite somebody.
All right.
I can see that too.
around it. Yeah, it does look like it's a pattern. Like it has like the. It's very
Yeah,
different.
going from here to here, but it's like it's distinctive here in the middle, around the edges, and then there's something distinctive on each corner as well.
When
I
I
think
went
that the rest of them are fractal, like they expand exponentially and just.
when I went to school in New York, we actually talked about this. I remember it was like a quick little topic to pass by time, but yeah, we talked about it.
Spoke about
My
what?
mom and I did a report on snowflakes.
We were talking.
It's how different music. Oh, you can go, my aunt.
Oh yeah, I was just saying like because it was around winter time. It was about to be Christmas, so they made us do a project just like Kadar on snowflakes and stuff. So they showed us pictures of this, and it's like, oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
The
All right.
class actually didn't really care though. I cared.
Well,
She made us do a homeschool project on snowflakes, and it was about how the music affects it, and then what you say to water affects it. Like if you say bad things to water, it'll probably make you sick.
and how much of your body is made of water?
70%, right?
80%.
It
I've
would
heard
depend on who
that.
you ask. Some people say 60.
Because I've heard 70%. That's all I've ever heard.
I've heard 80.
Yeah, I kind of think 70%.
A lot.
So what is that? And so okay, so then we're talking about vibration, right? Does and the law itself is that everything vibrates. So a thought has a vibration, yes.
Yes.
So the things that you are thinking have a frequency throughout your body, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so continue.
Oh well,
The things that you think do what?
the things that you think create a vibration through your body, and it makes you feel a certain way.
They become a physical reality inside your body.
So
And
just
what-
like
Go ahead.
when you say, oh, so this is like the different words. When they said evil to the water, it turned this into this.
Mhm.
And when they said microwave to the water, it turned
No,
into
they
this.
actually put this one. They put in the microwave and then froze it.
Oh,
That's all
Oh.
good.
but yeah, we were talking about that. I thought that they start saying microwave too.
Yeah, I mean, you are a mental projection of
That was
your mind and your thoughts. Literally, that's not just some catchy thing that people like to say. It's actually it's scientifically true, right? It's a fact, right? All right, love and gratitude. Look at that. Look how detailed that is. Look how detailed that is, right? And they love to have, as you can see, that hexagram in the middle, that six-sided shape in the middle, right? Right. And when you take that, when you take a hexagram and you make it three-dimensional, as opposed to two-dimensional, like a plane, like an just covering an area like a piece of paper, when you make that three-dimensional and add depth and space to it, it becomes a solid, a platonic solid